Hello and welcome to the breakfast show. Hello and welcome to the breakfast show. We are testing. One, two, three. Testing. Hello and welcome. We are getting ready for the show. I don't know why the music is not playing. Maybe Spotify will play. Hello and welcome. One, two, three. One, two, three. Yeah, we're going. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there is no music today because something is wrong with my computer. A lot of things aren't working today, like Gemini was just not working. I'm gonna blur my background. Gemini, the Google translator, was just not working for me today. A few things aren't working. But one thing that is working is BTC. I cannot wait to have my guest on soon so we can start yapping. Hopefully they'll join us before we get there. Welcome anyone. If you're in the chat early, you come to the right place. The Yalla Bitcoin Breakfast Show in the afternoon today to accommodate our guest from the great USA. Well, I actually don't know if he's American. I think he might be South American. Either way, it's very early for him. So that's why we are doing it at this hour. Welcome to the show. Bitcoin up, Bitcoin up, Kaito up, Ethereum up. Everything's up really at the moment, and you just got to ask yourself why. And we got a resolution, I think it's long lasting resolution between Trump and President Xi. Right? They didn't meet in person, but they had their finance ministers hash out a deal. We are hearing more and more about this deal, but basically it means that the tariffs are coming down again only for 90 days. But the tariffs are coming down. China's bringing their tariffs down to 10% only on the US. America's bringing their tariffs down. This is a quick resolution to something that people speculated could go on forever. I think it proves that these countries have more to gain with by trade than without. So, it's not a big win for the isolationists. It's definitely we're going to see. And Austin is in the state. Austin, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me. I was speaking to myself. I love doing that, but sometimes my wife tells me if I do it in public, people might get suspicious. How you doing, my friend?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Thank you so much for having me here. And yeah, looking forward to the show.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. We're hopefully going to get Mati on in a second. Let's make sure
For
that he's
sure.
hopping on as well. But how are you doing? Like, tell me where you calling from in the world. I said, we usually come on at the 11 o'clock slot. So some people are confused while we're on in the afternoon, but it's still breakfast for me. I haven't really eaten much today, so
Yeah,
maybe
no,
how
of
are you
course.
doing? What's up with you? Where you guys? Where you calling us from?
I'm based in Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's EST for me. It's 9 a.m. It's not bad at all. I wake up pretty early, so I don't mind hopping on calls in the morning.
Good for you. I mean, Argentina is a absolute powerhouse when it comes to crypto adoption. Like all my friends from there, we have a few friends in the Yalla Bitcoin community from Argentina, and everyone in the world like, what do you do? I mean, crypto. Oh, they do NFTs or they do this. When you ask the Argentinian, he's like, no, I help my abuela like buy like some pancakes with crypto. Like I actually
Exactly.
and there's actually a need for crypto in Argentina. So anyone saying that there's no use case is just showing their privilege because you obviously don't live in a country where that's essential.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you're totally right there. Hey, hello, Mati. Um,
Morning.
but yeah, like that was kind of like how it started for me as well. You know what I mean? Like I started in crypto 7 years ago, and for me, it just started as a solution. So yeah, I just wanted to save my money up from inflation. That's all I wanted to do,
Yeah,
and that's all I needed. You know, we
yeah,
have like over 100% in inflation per year here in Argentina. So for me, Bitcoin actually was a solution. I started with Bitcoin. I didn't know about crypto. I just started with Bitcoin because for me it was the only solution I had to start saving my money from the government and the inflation. So yeah.
yeah. Powerful. So and then you got roped in. You started off like one of us, so pure, and then you got roped in to a world that you didn't think was even possible of fairies and apes and penguins and scams and communities and good stuff and bad stuff and high and lows and pumps, and it's only breakfast and you've only just woken up and you've already felt like a year's gone past. But I think the inflation angle is obviously the number one use case for blockchain, and that is so true in Argentina. It's true. Like I come from originally from South Africa, and I told my friends over there, like, I understand if you're living in the US, if you're living in England, if you're living somewhere else where they have a currency that actually sort of works. I understand if you don't want to ape into Bitcoin, but if you're sitting on third world paper trash that at any second in time the can descend into hyperinflation. Like there's no reason for you not to be 100%, but 100% Bitcoin. So that's kind of that my angle. But it's great to have you with us, Mati. GM to you. How are you feeling? I want to ask you about Trump on the show for sure because he's sending out a whole lot of mixed signals right now. And I also want to get your take on the week we've had. The weekend pumps were glorious. We've kind of calmed down. I thought we would maybe accelerate going into market open yesterday, but we kind of calmed down. It feels like this was all priced in. It feels like, some Mar-a-Lago guest got a little alpha on the weekend, placed a little, opened a little, longs, whatever, and like we got the news a little bit later.
Yeah, I guess so. That was it was a pretty mighty pump last week, and it did extend into the weekend. And then, as you mentioned, um, Bitcoin is above 100K at the moment. Dogecoin all the way up to 26 cents. So that was pretty cool. Managed to catch a lot of that move. But now it looks like some chop is in the markets, and chop's not fun. So we're navigating that. Um, yeah, no, Trump is yeah, I would say not being the positive friend to Israel that he was before. I mean, accepting that gift from Qatar is like, what the fuck, dude? Right? Like, Trump knows about that Qatar is behind the terrorist financing, and taking a gift from the terrorists is like it's definitely a slap in the face. But some people say, well, he's playing 4D chess, and maybe that's kind of like a way of saying to the haters, or the anti-Semites in America, okay, wait a second, maybe Israel's not controlling us over here. But no, it's definitely disappointing. And yeah, seeing, I guess, in all fairness, seeing him make efforts to normalize relationships with other Arabic countries, I suppose, is a good thing. But and so it's very bittersweet. The release of the hostage yesterday, the last remaining American living hostage, Idan Alexander, who was indeed tortured in Gaza. You can see like marks all over his arms. And according to his account,
Bro, I just wanted to see it's like I just wanted to see a Bitcoin chart, bro. It's just
well, fuck you, dude. No, dude, you asked me about politics, so I'm getting into it.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Look, I don't know what to think about this, like Trump pivot. I think anyone who's surprised that a president who's saying, I'm going to put America first, is actually putting America first. Like, we told you exactly. You said that before about tariffs. Like, Trump told you exactly what he was going to do. I think in tariffs and in global geopolitics as well. Like, he's not beholden to anyone. He has no sentiment for any, long kind of lasting convention. And his only interest is America and ultimately Trump. So I think that's kind of what's playing out over there. But I hope it comes to a good place. I'm just happy that he can take the plane. I'm just happy that he's not nuking my bag again.
Yeah, I think that's a very limited view of what's going on. But a lot of I saw one tweet which kind of summed it up, like my synagogue went from somebody said my synagogue went from Trump is awesome,
Yeah.
to God is great.
God is in control. Yeah, that was a good one.
God controls everything. That's the bottom line there.
Hernani's angry. Hernani's pissed off. He wants you to know that he wants you to know that this is not. But we're not here about. We don't care about Qatar. If Qatar buy my bags, all is forgiven. I'm joking. Not really, but kind of. Just buy our bags, Qatar. They are gonna buy our bags. Maybe that's what Trump is talking to them all. In Saudi and Qatar and Abu Dhabi, like. That's why he's skipping Israel, because he knows we're not going to buy his bags. Like, he's going to them, he's bringing like, let's sign something. You come in with, we'll sell you OTC Trump, vested, unvested. You'll come in with a BTC and we'll pump it to the moon together.
Yeah, that's the other thing is, like you expect him to do stuff that's great for crypto, but he went a little too far too, right? Like, from putting crime back on the menu and like launching shitcoins as the president. It's not exactly, so we've gone from everything is illegal to everything is legal, including the scams. So that's not exactly what we were hoping for, not exactly what we were expecting, but certainly an improvement over what was. And at least it's good to have somebody in the White House who's a friend of crypto, a friend of Israel. Even if it boils down to what is capitalism, right? And I've never been a fan of Trump. I've never been like somebody goes like he's a great guy or anything. I've always stated very clearly, I think he's a megalomaniac and he's going to do what's in his self-interest. However, his self-interest aligns a lot more with my self-interests than the other party, and that's how we have to vote at the end of the day. And that's what capitalism is. Everybody doing what's in their own best interest is going to bring up everybody around them.
I wanna ask you, Austin, because you just mentioned Trump shitcoin. Like, your guy also launched a bit of a shitter and got in a bit of trouble. So what's the word on the ground from the the Libra like whole situation over there? Like, were your friends buying this? Was like, I heard the media's covering like is it a big story over there?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's definitely a big story here in Argentina, and a sad one as well. I've been following Milei for almost 10 years now. When he was just an economist, he was like the only guy who was like bringing something new to the table, right? Uh, that was back then when I was kind of like starting in investing in crypto. So he was like the only economist in Argentina mentioning like crypto and putting crypto on the map. After a few years, I think that he got kind of like ambitious of like more power, and he started getting into politics. And like back in the days was the thing that he was against of, right? Like politicians, and he wanted to like kind of like break all that things from the inside. So he started getting into politics. He started like becoming the president, as you all know, and he launched this coin. After he did all that, right now my position is kind of complicated. Like I don't know what to say about Millet, because I know that that was very poorly managed. Like he literally scammed the coin, and he like
Well, that
scam like
wasn't
he
his coin. He promoted a scam probably for payment, but
a 100%, yeah,
I
and
think
that's even worse.
seemed more like innocent in nature, where he just didn't know it was a scam, and well, he probably should have done better due diligence.
Exactly. There you go. Like that's even worse, because like a person who has been like a week in crypto will understand what to do and what not to do, and that's definitely like a straight no. Like don't launch a coin, and even like as a president. Like it definitely will go wrong. Like there's no upside for you on launching a coin that has no purpose. So that's kind of like where I stand on the Libra situation. And like I wanted to ask you guys, like, do you see any difference? Like I know that like the Libra was kind of like a straight rock, but do you see any difference with the Trump coin?
Yeah, no, actually, I think that Trump coin was a lot worse. I mean, with Malay's scam, at least like it seemed like he did some sort of due diligence on it, and there was some sort of a purpose behind it. There was a narrative of it's here to support startups within Argentina, and the person who was running it was part of an accelerator program that Millet was affiliated with, and therefore like there was some level of due diligence, even though he's not a crypto native. He doesn't spend as much time in the trenches as we do, and therefore was not capable of doing a full due diligence as he should have. With the Trump coin, that was just a money grab. It was blatant. It was unabashed, and greed. It was just pure greed. And I don't think that you can really like categorize it any other way. And that I think is just it's not good for crypto. It's not where the industry should be, and it's not the type of signals that the president should be sending out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely hear you. I think for me, I look at it like, there's the argument of all the meme coiners is that everything's a scam, so we'll just like launch it, a scam from the start. Like, and people understand that. People have been sort of fatigued from all the, hustles and flim flams that we like to call tokenomics, in the sense of like, market makers dumping on retail, or inflating the price, or, people using, I remember me and a friend, we used to track a wallet, like this serial entrepreneur guy. He would do an ICO, and then he would do another ICO, and then he'd send the previous ICO money to the second ICO, in order to inflate the price to make it look like there's volume. Like it's all people. These meme coins say it's all junk. So we might as well have a good time. We might as well connect to the community. And then the celebrities came and they took that to like a gross, exploitative angle. So like a meme coin like Mog or Pepe or Whiff or Dogecoin, there's no one behind that. It's just the movement. It's just the vibe. The second the celebrities got involved, it was obviously going to get ugly. And I think the only way to resolve this is to give tokens actual enforceable rights, sort of in a way that securities do, and then make them worth something. Like if the company gets bought out, you can have that. The token gives you a payout. It's not just utility or governance. Like how many people actually vote in governance of an Aave or an Arbitrum or a Uniswap? And even if they vote, often in these governance ecosystems, the foundation and a few insider entities have enough token supply to just outvote anything. So it's just like decentralization theater. So you might as well already just have, you might as well have real rights attached to the token. I think that's where it's going. So that's why I want to answer this question, and then I want to go to Mati's chart. Would I buy Hamas coin if I knew it was going to pump? Now, that's like asking to see my chat history. You've got a guy that's like, I've got my public facing persona, like I'm talking to people, I post things online, whatever. And then I got my chat with my private chat with my homies from back home that I know, like they stuck with me, they won't judge me or whatever. That's where I get dark, and so in that chat I might buy Hamas coin. Like, but you would never know. I would never ever tell anyone that I bought. Like when I was in gambling in the trenches, I bought some god awful tickets. I don't want to share that with anyone. I hope that's between me and the Lord. What the kind of tickets I bought. Right now, I'm not playing in the trenches. I don't think it's worth it. I think Bitcoin is king, and I think that's what Mati's about to show us. Not the king anymore. We might be at the beginning of an alt season. What do you think, Mati?
Yeah, absolutely. I would not buy Hamas coin, not if my life depended on it, not one dime. Honestly, I am a believer in impact investing, and if there's any kind of benefit that's being derived from this from an evil source, I think that's just off limits for me. Yeah. So, anyways, yes, the charts. We got some charts. Bitcoin up 103. We can see a nice pump, test of 100K, and then an additional breakout of that 100K level, which caused a lot of excitement. And now we are again testing all-time high territories. The all-time high is a bit tricky because there is a big wick on it. So 109.5-ish. So I think a break of 110 is what we're really looking for to say we're in new all-time high territories. But anything strong above 107, which is underneath the wicks or where the bodies of those candles are, I think we're rocking there. So we're going to be testing that pretty hard. The other thing is you want to watch out because we are literally very high above that 50-day moving average. So we had the pump, a test, another pump. So that's a double pump without a retracement. You got to watch out because markets like to take out the leveraged traders. Dogecoin, really awesome pump over the weekend. Yeah, and we're getting this kind of like bullish flag pattern over here. But again, this is very choppy behavior. And then regarding alt season, yeah, it looks like 65.5% Bitcoin dominance. I think that was the peak. I think that it's going to be very difficult for the dominance to rise above that at this point. I think people are again in speculative mode, speculative behavior, and they're going to be looking for coins. But hopefully they'll be looking for coins with utility rather than meme coins or vaporware AI coins that really don't add value, and they're designed to extract value from the system.
Yeah, I mean, again, I told you, meme coins are also like utility coins also, in a sense, have the Ponzi aspect. But I wanted to when Mati gets off the call, I do want to kind of talk about the Bitcoin dominance a little bit and see where we are with that because I want to also get your take, Austin. Like, we had a good run the last week. Bitcoin pumped, and I think the alts followed pretty closely. Are we back in alt season? Like, I want to like try to focus as much as possible on not talking about price, talking about the things that matter, because unfortunately in our space, price determines a lot. Like, when you're talking to how much people want to spend on marketing or whether people want to go to market, like you can't escape price because it determines so much of your day to day, and like how are you keeping the community engaged and all of that. So what do you think about, are we in the alt season? Is that coming? Do you feel that happening? Or is this just a major, a minor correction before Bitcoin dominance goes up again?
So that's a very good question. Before getting into that, I just want to say that nothing of this is like legal advice. Just want to make that clear for the audience. But yeah, like I think that it could be the start of something, and I do agree with Mati there that well, I think that potentially we'll see a new season with people actually putting their money where their mouth is and not going after the next shiny thing, which I think that it was what happened in the past year. And I honestly do think that nowadays there's too much to look after in the market. There's so many opportunities, so many different things, projects that are doing some cool stuff out there. Really, really bullish teams that are currently building. So yeah, I'm actually excited where all this will lead out, but potentially we'll see something good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where we're going. Like, I think first of all, I want to how the two. Mati, can you try to pronounce that for me? Do you think you can pronounce that name? It's
That's a
tough
good
right
one.
now. Yeah, so that's it.
Nalanda.
Clicks.
It's
Hey,
Nalanda.
Costa clicks. S. Welcome. If you have any questions for Mati or Austin, we will get into them. Drop us a question over here. So I think that's kind of gives us the wrap about the Bitcoin dominance. I'm waiting to see where it goes. I'm obviously right now, on a personal front, like extremely busy with building a new like company, helping companies with growth marketing. Hopefully going to share some more info soon, which means I don't have as much time. Like I was spending a lot of time trying out new products. Like I had this period of time between, the Kaito TGE and around now where it was just going back to basics. Why I love this ecosystem so much, which is just, every day you're trying something new. You're vibing with new people. You're trying new technologies. You're learning about new technologies. You're getting you're getting a little cookie here and a little sprinkle of dust here, like to keep you engaged, and it's just incredible. So like I think we're going to see a run. Hernan mentions virtual. Maybe we can just yeah. Hernan mentioned virtual. Like I think that's going to see a run. Obviously, I think I think we're not in a 4-year cycle anymore. I really think that we're in a situation where you have an infinite bid for Bitcoin from institutions, from nation states about to come, and that's going to create a floor. Like when you have MicroStrategy and BlackRock and all these companies now, Nakamoto, David Bailey's new company, and 21 shares, Jack Mallers' company, and all these companies popping up with a mandate to buy Bitcoin. There's a certain floor that put on the price, right? So Bitcoin 4-year cycles, I think, are over. I think we're going to keep oscillating up and down until we get to the beyond the moon. What's going to happen to alt? I think alt to go the other way. I think alts, as we've seen, like, you know, or the cycles are compressing. You know, like if you October, November 2024, virtuals was flying. All these, you know, Zerebro, the, you know, that stupid AR slot machine, like that was flying, and it all came crashing down, like, you know, post election, post inauguration, and now we're seeing it start to pick up, and it's like 3 month cycles. So, you know, I think for alts, like we're going to be stuck in these 3 month cycles. Like no one wants to be holding alts from previous cycle. Like the alts from the previous cycle aren't as sexy anymore. One or two of them make it into the blue chip, XRP and Ethereum and you know all the but BNB, they make it into the blue chip, but most just get forgotten and people chase the shiny new stuff, you know. So I think that's kind of where we at, where we're going. I want to get into it about Say as well because you know it's technology is where we want to focus. I want to ask Austin a whole bunch of questions. You know, Say's been on my timeline. They've been on my radar. I've gotten to play a little bit around with Say, try out some DeFi applications. You know, I really love the kind of the feel that it has of being classy yet super technical. You know, I think there's a lot of chains that focus on like consumer, DJ, and whatever. Like at the end of the day, those of us who came in, you know, 2017, 2013, whatever we came in earlier, like we appreciate the technical. Like we came in when it was only like very bare metal and all this other stuff of consumer of DeFi was just a dream back then. Like it was all only about the technical. So I'm happy to have Austin on. Maybe you told us a little bit about your background. Like you come from Argentina and you stumbled into Bitcoin as a sort of inflation hedge. Maybe you kind of elaborate on that. Like, how did you go from saving in Bitcoin to becoming sort of a giga? Like, I know that's a thing by you guys, like a sort of a red warrior on this in the Say tribe.
For sure. So yeah, as I said, I started in crypto 7 years ago, and it took me 2 years to realize there was an industry behind it. I started working full time in Web3 5 years ago. Started in community, and I did a whole bunch of stuff. Worked for a, crypto startup for like 3 years. Did some community for a few projects, and it's been almost 2 years that I've been at the community team at Say. And it's like when I joined, Say was also the kind of like the dream of a parallelized EVM. The goal was always the same. The goal was to and still to scale the EVM, and that's what we do. Say is the first parallelized EVM, and I started on Say honestly because I feel like I'm aligned with the vision personally. I think that the EVM ecosystem is as you're saying, like I do like and I do appreciate. I'm not a developer, but I do appreciate the technical part, and when like I do like when things have like purpose, right? And so yeah, like as I said, like Say is the first parallelized VM. It's a high throughput chain, and the goal of like scaling the AVM is for developers to have a faster ecosystem to build their applications. And
Yeah,
when I
when you say that, is Say like a monolithic chain? Is to get correct? It's one chain that's like kind of
yeah,
scaled for parallel execution.
yeah, exactly. Like Say it's a layer one blockchain.
Yeah.
built on the EVM ecosystem.
Yeah, but
It
you guys were recently you on other ecosystems, and then you chose EVM. Like obviously, it's got a very strong developer, uh, ecosystem on EVM, and there's also a strong culture ecosystem on Ethereum. Like all the ETH Denver events and all of those kind of community get-togethers. But my question is like, how much of not so much of it flows back to Ethereum. You guys are a separate layer one. You work on EVM, but it's like how close do you how much from a cultural perspective, a branding perspective, do you kind of associate versus differentiate yourself from Ethereum?
So that's actually a very good question. Um, from a tooling perspective, we're on the EVM, but at the end of the day, what we're providing here is a solution for the entire ecosystem. So our like like the thing we provide is like scalability for developers with a high throughput chain. So that's also like part of the things we offer. But like from a tooling perspective, of course, we're on the EVM. So like developers and just people from the Ethereum community can relate with say, but also get a better developer experience in terms of like scalability for their applications. Not sure if that answered your question.
We have CPI data coming in exactly right now. This is Forex
Oh,
Factory.
fresh. What are we doing? Is the print hot, Matty?
Oh, it's
We need
hot.
to get the.
It's hot. It's hot. CPI less than expected. Year over year, everything less than expected. And that means more likelihood of Fed to cut rates going forward. This is very bullish. We can zoom in here to the short-term charts and see some monster green candles on the 1-minute charts.
Are you watching the one? Are you watching the 1 minute?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow, that's a candle. That's a candle.
There we
Big
go.
bookmark that candle. How big are we talking? What are we talking percentage wise? That's a green candle.
Yeah, I
You see
know.
that wick?
Percentage-wise,
That
it's not.
wick, you can light Hanukkah candles on that wick, bro. It can last you for 8 days. That wick. Oh, that's a good shot. And also
Yeah,
the memes are running like kind of retracing this entire man. The S&P, everything's pumping. Everything feels good. It's a good emotions all around. I
yeah.
think at this
S&P
point in
hasn't
time,
opened yet, but no, it's good. It's certainly a risk on event where Fed is a lot more likely to cut rates in their next meeting. They are in a very difficult situation, as I've indicated on Twitter yesterday, where they had the unemployment rate rising and inflation kind of just rising a tad. So they want inflation to come down a bit more, but they don't want to harm the unemployment figures, which it's just a very difficult situation where they're kind of damned if they do, damned if they don't situation. And no matter what they do, no matter what Jerome Powell does, Trump is going to accuse him of doing the wrong thing. So there's a political aspect to this as well.
yeah, I mean, I was watching the All In, and they were debating whether or not Jerome is acting, in the on with the political agenda, and he's definitely acting with the political agenda, and that's why we have BTC because at the money supply of the world, all our e-commerce and economy and our ability to feed our family and go on holiday and refinance our car. It's all decided in a ego war, a eggplant aubergine measuring contest, if you will, between two geriatric men. One of them a Republican, one of them, whatever Jerome Powell is. One of them's in the White House, one of them's in the Fed building, and they have an argument. This guy slashes government spending, this guy slashes rates, and they play with each other, and that determines that the money supply instead of code, hard money, verifiable money. That's why I think we have an infinite bid right now for Bitcoin. Like the appetite for treasury buying of Bitcoin is insatiable. Like Saylor has been managed to raise ten of billions of dollars with zero coupon with various different instruments, and investors are just giving him money, whether they bond investors or preferred stock investors or whatever they might be. So that's kind of the corollary over here. Like whatever the Fed, it's nice to watch the CPI in the short term, but in the long term, I think it's important to remember that the very fact that we rely on some made up number that some guys cook up in the back of the Fed, like no one really knows what goes into that metric. You've got other metrics like trueflation that might be different, and you might sometimes I'll say like, oh, this inflation was 3%, but we didn't count cars and food. Like what? They kind of can wig it just to make themselves look good. So that's why we need BTC. No one can rig BTC to make themselves look good.
Yeah, I mean, trueflation is not far off of what the CPI numbers are or what inflation is being reported in the United States. It has been a lot worse than that, but I think lately the Fed recognizes that it's more easy for people to verify independently these days, and therefore they're more incentivized to give an accurate accounting. But if we're on the subject of Argentina, I think I'm very glad that Trueflation has included this data. I guess you have to pay for the 3-year data, but here we can see from May 2024, inflation in Argentina coming down from 280% all the way down to 40%. So 40% inflation is not great by any stretch of the imagination, but certainly better than 280% that was. I think it's something that is a trend that's happening throughout the world as economic conditions have harshened. I mean, obviously, when economic conditions were good and they were printing money like it was going out of style, that caused the inflation. And then once the inflation came in, they really had to pull back on all that easy money, and that's what's causing like the hardships of today.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Austin, do you feel 40% inflation where you from?
To be completely honest with you, like it doesn't feel any different for the average Argentinian here. Like the day-to-day life is still going up. Like prices are still going up here in Argentina. So like I would say that maybe groceries are more stable, kind of like you're not gonna go to grocery store and I don't know, like water will be a different price from a day to another, but it kind of feels that everything's still the same. So I'm not 100% sure of like how much can I like just believe on like the inflation rates that the government shares pretty much. And so I kind of feel like, of course, Bitcoin and like just crypto in general is still the best solution for any person, not just in Argentina, but anywhere in the world who has this similar struggles, I would say.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
definitely. Yeah, I think it's thinking of you guys saving Bitcoin if you're in hyperinflation currency. Austin, I want to go back to you and about say you told us earlier that you were there from a lot early on in the journey, and I'm always curious about how little ideas become communities, become functioning live hubs of activity of people coordinating around the world and bringing something to fruition. So maybe talk us through like how you guys built what you have today, because the state community is quite large and in charge. You've got a lot of differentiating to do, so it's quite hard to set yourself apart in the layer one ecosystem, especially when you share the same two letters as a different layer one. That's also it makes it. So kind of how do you guys think about differentiating yourself, and what did you do from the beginning to make sure that has this kind of strong, passionate community?
Yeah. So we always try new stuff, and since the beginning, Say has been a community first blockchain. And community and culture has been always one of the most important pillars for us. I think that everything goes back to scaling the EVM, and like no one can take the like first parallelized EVM title from us. So at the end of the day, it's a very attractive solution for builders first, because it's a blockchain that's currently live. It's a high throughput blockchain that allows like EVM developers to scale. So starting from that, it allows first the builders to provide different solutions to the consumers, and then also the users and the consumer to experience like a very fast and cheap experience when using any applications. And I know that like there are just right now there are many blockchains that are like can offer like um, a fast experience, but on the EVM, I think that the like nothing compares to, like say in terms of like speed right now. And there are so many layer ones and like so many blockchains that are doing a great job in terms of marketing. But as of today, there's only one parallelized in blockchain in the EVM ecosystem. So I think that's maybe what attracted most of our users and builders, and at least from what I've seen, yeah.
Omar, GM to you, Omar, a fan of Mati. Oh, we have a lot of fans of Mati in the house.
Omar, what's going on, man?
Omar, that's
Say,
so yeah.
say what you want to say. Let the words fall out. Right? How many projects are building on Say at the moment?
Right now, I don't have the exact number on me, but it's over 300, 400. I don't have the exact number.
How many transactions are we seeing, like TPS?
Let's pop up. A little Say dashboard.
Because look, I mean, and sorry, we're not always nice to our friends, but you guys are cool. But I like anybody can say that we've got the fastest blockchain. Not that that matters, but anybody can say it. But until you like prove it under fire, it's all theoretical, right? I mean,
Yeah,
nobody knew that Ethereum transaction fees were going to be at $400 in 2021. Nobody could have predicted that. It was just, oh yeah, Ethereum is much more efficient than Bitcoin. And then once the blockchain got flooded, then people were like, oh shit. So yeah, I mean, so
you're 100% right there. And that's why our current focus is on like we're focusing on like just getting builders in at the end of the day. We do have a like builders community and some great projects building on Say. But at the end of the day, that's what every blockchain wants. Like Say is still a very new ecosystem compared to, like, of course, Ethereum or even Solana. Um, Say is like, we made the upgrade of like becoming a parallelized CVM a year ago, right? So it's still it's not as mature as like Ethereum currently is. So we're definitely focusing right now on like just getting builders in and just like providing more applications that can battle test the blockchain. You're totally right there. But I think that providing the opportunity to being able to just do all that stuff on chain, I think that that's also like what differentiates us.
Yeah,
I want to look at this. I want to look at this dash.
You do.
I want to show you guys this dashboard.
Before that, I just wanted to say that there's a major advantage in doing the streams at this time. It seems like there's a lot more people awake and active. So welcome to all the humans and all the bots. And we get the advantage of charts that are moving as well, which is always fun. Disadvantage, I have a hard stop right after this. I have a meeting on the hour, so 16 minutes left, and we're out. But
we've already got 45 minutes. Let me show you guys this chart. So Say's been doing actually quite well. The active addresses, you can see, started to pick up really around like November last year. So it's pretty new on the blockchain, and the TVL is just gone crazy. In the last 3 months, we've seen a 3x increase in TVL. So obviously, that's kind of credit to the community. I'm curious as to, for me, I've got to be straight with you. Like, I think there are a lot of layer ones out there, maybe too many, even, dare I say, and becoming very obvious that crypto needs to move to the application layer instead of popping out more infrastructure. So, like, how do you see that kind of break down that dilemma, and how do you, why should I, as a developer building EVM smart contract, come build it on Say as opposed to any other option that I have out there?
As I said before, I think that the scalability part, it's would set us apart. Like right now, there's no other ecosystem in the EVM that allows you to develop the applications that Say can allow builders to create. So yeah, you can get like a fast blockchain, whatever. But I think that if you're a builder and wants to build something big on the EVM, which is the ecosystem where like currently 80% of the developers are, it's Say the only ecosystem that allows you to do that right now, because it's a chain that has been live for over a year now. So I think that part is like just critical and very key when speaking about builders onboarding. As you said, like there's so many layer ones, and there are many layer ones that are being quite popular right now on the timeline, but most of the ones that you'll see on Twitter are currently not live, not even in testnet. So if you're a builder, you want to build something now, or you want to scale your EVM application, the fastest way for you to do it right now it's on Say, and it's the only ecosystem that allows you, which is like one click, migrate your application from Ethereum to Say, because it's built on the EVM.
I want to kind of give us a quick shout out to some projects that you like, that are building on chain, some teams you're supporting, NFT collections, if there are anything like that. Like, what should we be looking out for on chain?
I think that right now projects that are doing really well. I think like so DeFi are doing really well. DeFi is doing really well right now, I'll say, and most of the TVL growth we've seen in the past few months, as you showed, comes from the DeFi vertical. In a project that I think that it's doing a great job is Yay Finance. It's a money market on Say, and they have over 200 million TVL right now, and the team is like super solid. So yeah, there's many other teams that are doing a great job, but I think that Yay is definitely a must to check out.
Hooray for Yay.
All right, for you. We got a few more minutes on the clock. I want to get to Matty's predictions for the coming week. But first, Austin, what should we do to get involved with Say, to check you out? What campaigns are currently running? What, kind of hangouts, events, anything you're doing to kind of get people together?
Just check us out on X. And I think that like a good thing about us is that the team is pretty open. So like if you're a builder, if you're I don't know, like just whoever, you're just a user who wants to learn more about Say, you can drop us a DM, anyone in the community team or anyone in the community, to be honest with you. I think like people are really welcoming. So just yeah, check us out on our X community. Drop me a DM, and then yeah, I'll be more than happy to help you to get on board.
Sorry, there was a question from the audience. How do you spell Yay? Is that Y-A-Y?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
Not to be
Yeah.
confused with Ye. No, it's not
No.
Ye. It's Yay. So like the word Yay. They're celebrating something over there.
Yeah.
On-chain
Okay.
liquidity. That's what we
Thank you
celebrate.
guys for coming to our show. Mati, I'm going to give you the mic to end us off with a little prediction for the coming week. Like, what are we looking forward to? And then we can get some coffee before your next meeting. Austin, thank you so much for coming. We'll definitely follow you up and keep hitting out the say content. I hope to have a few dope clips from this one to share so that everyone can learn about Say. Thank you. Shout out to the Devil K, a community member of ours who connected us to Austin, who brought an incredible guest. I always love having guests from around the world, especially places where, like Argentina, because we don't just talk about theory around crypto, we're talking about real problems real people face. So thank you, Austin, for joining us. Mikey, what are we looking forward to in the next week?
Well, your guess is as good as mine, Dudu. Absolutely do not tell the future. I refuse to. However, yeah, I mean, things are looking very bullish at the moment. We had some mighty pumps, and generally speaking, after you have mighty pumps, you're going to get some pretty big liquidations as well. But I mean, things are about as bullish as they can be. We have peace in Ukraine breaking out. Apparently, I saw that flying across my Twitter feed. Negotiations between China and the United States seem to be going well. You have Trump out in the Middle East, shaking hands and kissing babies. Things look pretty positive in the world right now. I mean, for once, so that's good and bullish.
Yeah, I think peace is bullish. World peace is bullish. So we want to say hi to Ntlanhla. Ntlanhla's learning a lot from our last session. This guy's coming on the show and learning shit about Bitcoin. This isn't bot. This is worth everything we do, right? Commodity investment. Let me just end off for Ntlantla. Bitcoin is the ultimate commodity. A commodity basically has a stock to flow ratio, right? That determines how it's priced based on how easy it is to mine and how abundant the current supply above ground of it is. And Bitcoin has a very hard to mine, very, very hard. Ask Mati, how hard is it to mine Bitcoin? It's much easier to mine cobalt or whatever it is else in the world.
Oh, it's easy to mine. You just plug in the machine. The problem is that you have to have the electricity rate. If you don't have an electricity
That's what
rate,
I'm saying. Yeah.
mining Bitcoin at a loss, and that's not
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it's hard to, it's scarce to mine. Like you need a lot of power to mine Bitcoin, right? And then you have, that's what I mean, easiest. Needs a lot of proof of work. And
Electricity, yeah, you
then,
need a lot of electricity, and you need to take care of your machines because machines. If you don't take good care of them, put them in the right environment, the right cooling, they're gonna break on you, and then you got to send them in for repairs, and that's no fun. So yeah, there's a lot to it. It's not like when I started, you could mine Bitcoin with a laptop, back in 2013, 2014. These days, we're actually getting literal generators and hooking them up to natural gas sites. So yeah, it can be pretty technical. Last week I was on probably the most technical call that I've ever been on, where we had the generator people talking to the gas people, talking to the container suppliers, and they were diagrams and stuff that just goes way over my head, but all very exciting, because we're going to do something that's absolutely revolutionary, mining Bitcoin off of gas that would have otherwise been burned into the atmosphere. So better for the planet, better for us, and supporting the Bitcoin network. I mean, what literally could be better than that?
yeah, thank you for sure. So that's your answer, Ntlantla. Bitcoin is the ultimate commodity. Thank you guys for joining us.
No, you have to understand, you can't get more Bitcoin. There's a certain amount of Bitcoin. And if the price of gold goes up, you can mine more gold, or you can create it, or you can go to an asteroid and get it. If the price of houses goes up, you can build more houses in response. Bitcoin has a very fixed supply. If the demand goes up on Bitcoin, you can't get any more Bitcoin than what's already coming out. That's the killer. That's the killer feature of Bitcoin. That is found nowhere in nature, and only something that was enabled by Satoshi Nakamoto, all the way back in 2008.
Thank you, Satoshi. Bless up, my brother. Bless to Satoshi. How those 1 minute candles looking? Are we back?
Yeah, things have relaxed. There was the CPI.
Yeah, I think it retraced almost instantly. It's
Yeah, that's
volatile.
what
It's
happens
volatile.
on these announcements. Like, they're very short-term movements, and there's some adjustments going on. But that generally sets the tone. Gun to my head, I would say we're up 3% on Bitcoin by the end of the day, maybe 3.5%.
Interesting.
We gotta test we gotta test those highs. So 107 is resistance at this point. It's gonna be tough to break through that. But once we do, once we get above 110, clear skies. I mean, we could rip to 160 in a few days.
Are we having this conversation next week above or below the all-time high?
Yeah, we could be. It could be. I mean, like, again, I don't predict the future, but reading the tea leaves here, just watch that resistance point, and you see how easy it is. I mean, like, there's a lot of buy pressure out there. There's a lot of people who want to get into Bitcoin, and a lot of people who have a little bit of exposure who want more exposure. I use Bitcoin every single day. There's a day that goes by that I don't make at least 1 or 2 Bitcoin transactions. And that's from running businesses, receiving money from clients, paying money to employees, all that kind of stuff.
Do you pay employees in Bitcoin?
Yes, only. I don't have a single
Not
employee.
stables?
I do not have a single employee who prefers to. Well, stables, Bitcoin, it's mostly Bitcoin, because that's what we hold. I don't have a single employee who prefers to get paid in fiat money these days. It's a nightmare for most people.
Yeah, I definitely understand you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining. Austin, above or beyond the all-time high, we'll end off with that. Next week, this time.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
I think we break through. I think Trump is done with these trade wars. He's in Saudi Arabia right now doing a sword dance, and we all know what that means: abundance, wealth. He's talking to the sheikhs about business. He's brought a lot of business leaders. They're going to talk about Iran and this and the war in Gaza, or what, but they want to make deals. These guys don't give a shit. They've had enough of war. They want to make deals. They want to do business. So hopefully we get one or two nice announcements coming out of the Middle East. Mati, enjoy. Have a wonderful, guys. We'll see you back here next week.
I see you soon.
Thank you guys. Have a good